Spiritual life is not sitting in some postures, chanting some mantra or practice of some techniques. Expecting self-realization just by doing these is like building castles in the air. If one analyzes the teachings of various saints on spirituality, one perceives the oneness of their teachings which dispel all sectarian frames of mind. Swami Shriyukteshwar Giri. In the mid-19th century, a great soul came and dwelt amongst us. Though from a small village in India, he was to impact the entire world eventually, especially after his demise in 1936. His name was Priyanath Karar and was known to the world as Swami Shriyukteshwar Giri. By the will of the Supreme, who is the cause of everything, in whose 19th century India, the second half of which beheld a scenario of societal, political, and spiritual transition and transformation, the Acharya of the age, Srimat Swami Shriyukteshwar Giri Maharaj, was born in the form of a son to the middle-class family of Kshetranath Karar, the father, and Kadambini, the mother, on the 10th of May in the Christian year of 1855, the last Friday of the month of Baishak, in the city of Srirampur of the Hooghly district on the banks of the holy river Bhagirathi. His father was a well-to-do landowner and had several other businesses. His mother ran her household as a proper wife and ideal mother, firmly observant of the rules and norms of a Hindu family life. In school, Priyanath's sharp intellect and intelligence became apparent to his teachers. He excelled at math and studied subjects to their innermost depth. He could not accept with satisfaction any unscientific conclusion. The tendency to cultivate and study as well as inquire into the essential matters seemed to emanate as an inborn characteristic of the child Priyanath. In matters spiritual, scriptural exhortations without explanation or logic would annoy him. He would, through his excellent grasp of Sanskrit, make fools of would-be pundits that stood on their self-proclaimed authority, but not on any kind of understanding of the scriptural principle underlying the stanza of the scripture being quoted, or scientific logic in trying to make the point of the scripture understandable or understood. Priyanath lost his father when he was a child. Though his mother was the legal custodian, the details were handled by him. He would say, if there is some work that must be done, then one should not be disrespectful and careless toward that work, because that disrespectful attitude can plant a seed of disrespect in the mind. Without regulating the entire life properly, it is not possible for a normal person to realize the highest ideals. That is why he instructed his disciples to pay attention to things like cleanliness, orderliness, maintenance of the body, lawfulness, civility, simplicity, self-sufficiency, and so on. He studied at the Srirampur Christian Missionary College and became deeply interested in the Christian Bible, especially taking interest in the Book of Revelations. Later in life, at the behest of the great Master Mahavatar Babaji, he wrote a book, The Holy Science, which showed the similarities between Vedic knowledge and the spiritual teachings revealed in the Judeo-Christian Bible. He married after college and became an accountant. That job was easy for his mathematical mind, but bored him to tears. He left that job and felt relieved. In just a few years, he became a widower when his wife died, and his daughter left her body shortly thereafter. His only connection to the world was his granddaughter, and she was married and lived with her husband. He felt that he had been freed from prarabdha karma and was now free to pursue the spiritual things. This ended his early life. In this first stage of life, the virtues of subtle insight, clear analysis, deep research, steadiness of character, and non-attachment began to reveal themselves as what would comprise the immense personality and radiant life in the future for the Acharya of the ages, His Holiness Swamiji Maharaj Swami Shriyukteshwar Giri. Still laying ahead of him in 1884 would be meeting Yogavatar Sri Lahiri Mahashai and his soul-charging initiation into the practices we now know as Kriya Yoga. For more information on the life of Swami Shriyukteshwar Giri, please consult the books Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahamsa Yogananda, a collection of biographies of 4 Kriya Yoga gurus by Swami Satyananda Giri, and Swami Shriyukteshwar, Incarnation of Wisdom by Paramahamsa Prajnanananda. Adequate development of the body and mind is very essential, so leaving all limitations and narrow-mindedness, all should scientifically practice and progress with a higher goal in view. With a devoted and open mind, if one analyzes the teachings of various saints on spirituality, one perceives the oneness of their teachings, which dispel all sectarian frames of mind.